We now turn our attention to golf and the Ryder Cup being held on the 28th to the 30th of September 2018. So we've got about 2 weeks to go. So it's time we have a look at this tournament, this great event. We've got USA as hot favourites to win the trophy, 4-5. The tie at 12-1. Europe 6-4. In terms of lifting the trophy, you've got USA 8-13 and Europe 6-4. The reason they've got a slightly shorter price for the USA is obviously because they're the defending champions. And if there's a tie, 14 points all, then obviously USA would keep the trophy and will retain it. So they've got a slight advantage in terms of lifting the trophy. If we look at the two teams, two great teams, two very strong teams, full of major winners, full of talent. Obviously, the American team is very, very strong this year, and that's the reason they're the favourites. I think it's, the odds are okay, but I think USA, they've definitely gone on personnel. They've definitely gone on the players. They haven't looked at the fact that it's being held in Paris at Le Golf National for the first time. So the second time that the Ryder Cup is being held in continental Europe. It was held at Valderrama in Spain in 1997, and Europe got the win that year. It was a very close game, from what I remember, close match. I think it was something like 14.5, 13.5. So it was a slim victory, but it was a victory nonetheless, and it was an outright victory. And Europe were able to retain the title, 14.5 points. That's the key number to win. There's 28 points on offer in the event. And 14.5 is the key to win. But obviously, the bare minimum USA will need is 14 to hold on to the title as they're the defending champions. We look at the teams, we can see that USA do have a strong team. You've got the likes of Dustin Johnson. He's currently second in the world. Brooks Koepka, multiple major winner this year alone, winning 2 major titles in a year. Justin Thomas, Bryson DeChambeau in hot form at the moment. A recent winner, Ricky Fowler, Jordan Spieth, legend of the game Spieth, gritty competitor, Bubba Watson. Doesn't have a great record in the Ryder Cup though, Bubba Watson. He's gone 3-8-0, so those aren't great figures, so that's something to bear in mind. Patrick Reed, great Ryder Cup player, great intensity, a great leader. He was leading by example last time out. Tony Finau, who's the last of Jim Furyk's wildcard picks. Webb Simpson, former US Open champion. Tiger Woods, enough said. Phil Mickelson, enough said. So, very strong team for USA. And then we look at the European team. We've got Justin Rose, who's the world #1. And if you follow golf on this channel, we always bet on Rose because he's very dependable. And he is a great personality to have leading the team, the world #1. We've got Francesco Molinari, the Open champion. I think he's had an amazing year, Molinari. I think he's been absolutely amazing. He's been so consistent, and he's going to be someone that Europe will be able to rely on this time. Rory McIlroy, legendary player, all-time great already. He's there, and great Ryder Cup player. He's sort of the, he was the talisman last time, wasn't it? It was him for Europe, and it was Patrick Reed last time out, and he played so well last time. We've got Jon Rahm, who's actually a debutant, but he's been an amazing player since he's burst into the scene. An elite player and a future major winner. Tommy Fleetwood, amazing year. We've supported him on this channel recently, and certainly in the majors. In major tournaments he stepped up, and I think he's going to be fantastic in the Ryder Cup. I think he's quite an excitable guy, and he can be calm and sort of steady when required. And seeing as he's played well in all the majors, he's clearly got a temperament which is going to lead him to play well in this tournament. We've got Alex Noren, well supported on this channel. Hasn't been in the best form of late, but he's a very talented player and certainly a future major winner in my opinion. Paul Casey, definitely an old calm head there. Good ball striker, always plays well in the Masters. He's a good player to have around. He's got a lot of experience, and that's what Bjorn's gone for in his team. Henrik Stenson, obviously, not in the best form again, but multiple major winner, Olympic champion. And it would be difficult to leave Stenson out with the standing he has in the game and his experience. In his 40s now, and he's been around forever. big hitter of the ball, very good ball striker. Tyrrell Hatton is a debutant, very good young player. Sergio Garcia, we know about him, Masters champion from last year, not in the best form again. So that's what certain people have said about Europe's picks, is Bjorn's gone for experience. He hasn't necessarily gone on form, but Garcia's full of experience and he has an amazing record in the Ryder Cup. Ian Poulter, talisman, again a talismanic type player. He's played very well this year, Poulter, and that's why he's in. He brings a lot of experience, knows about the Ryder Cup, knows it inside out, and he's one of the characters from Ryder Cups gone by, so he'll be depended on to perform steadily. And also Torbjorn Olesen is the last selection for Europe. He's 44th in the world. He's played very well and consistently all year, and I think he's a worthy member of the team. And I think he's going to be someone who, when the singles come on the final day, we'll expect him to perform well. He's performed under pressure well this year, so he is also a very creditable member of the team. Looking at the rankings, USA have got an edge. If you look at the 3 rookies that USA have, they're actually ranked 4th, 8th and 15th in the world. So that's very impressive. I think Europe have got a great side as well, but I can see why USA are being given all the plaudits. I mean, they're fair enough to have them at favourites, but I think the Ryder Cup is not. It's a different event. It's not. You're playing as a team. You're not playing on your own. When they play week in, week out, they're playing individually. This is a different game. And when I look at the two teams, I just get the feeling that USA, there's a lot of egos there. There's a lot of tremendous players, but with a lot of tremendous players and a lot of blockbuster players comes a lot of egos. You know, got Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson in the same team. We know about their history. I know they've got past it, and they've, where they've matured. They're both in their 40s now. They've got past that, I think. Their problems in the past, but still, there's 2 massive egos in the team. And then when you look at the younger players as well, these are players that go up against each other week in, week out, and I think there's a lot of rivalry there. I think Europe may gel better, but this is all opinion based. One of the things with the Ryder Cup betting on the outright market, when you're looking at selecting winners, it's very subjective and it's very perception based. Perception I have, even though some of the Americans, they've played together as college players as well, so that's something that should be considered as well. I'm trying to say that I think Europe will probably gel together better as a team, but I don't know if that's fair actually, thinking, because a lot of the American players have been brought up to play in the college. They've played together in the college system, and so they also have experience playing together. And we've also got to consider the captaincy situation. Jim Furyk, hugely experienced player in tournament golf and in the Ryder Cup. And I think he's going to bring a lot of grit to the side. He's going to bring a lot of organisation. And I think he's going to bring a pragmatic approach as well. We've got Bjorn as well for Europe. He's a very good captain, very experienced. When he was playing at his best, he was very good at harnessing his emotion, Bjorn, and focusing intensity on his game. And I think he'll bring a lot of experience and he'll be a respected captain for Europe. So, yeah, it's a difficult one to pick. I don't think it's as simple as going USA have got a blockbuster team and that's it. Europe have got a very good team as well. And we've got obviously this is a betting perspective we're looking from. You've got Europe out at 6-4 and we've got USA at 4-5. There is a bit of value in looking at Europe on this, and I'm definitely thinking to go in that direction. But you can go either way, and this is definitely one to get on the comments in. Comment who you think will win and why. I think you can go either way on it, but with it being in Europe, in Paris, at Le Golf National, I just think the bookies have it valued way out. I think they've obviously, this isn't a reflection of probabilities on winning, this is a reflection of the betting and what money's gone down. It looks like a lot of money's going down on USA, which is fair enough. And that is the sort of simple way of looking at this thing, is just looking at players. If you just look at the players, you'd probably say USA have got an edge, and so the logical choice is to go for USA. But no, they're playing away. Only the second time the event's been played in continental Europe. It's a different type of format. I think another point to bear in mind is although USA have got these blockbuster players, they've got a lot of big hitters as well in their team. They're not necessarily the straightest hitters, and I think that's going to be important. If you think about, the formats that are played in the Ryder Cup, where there's an alternate shot format in the foursomes, you want to be playing from the fairway, you want to be playing from the short grass. And when you look at the two lineups, you've got the likes of Dustin Johnson, who booms the ball. He's a very big hitter, but is he an accurate hitter? He's obviously a very good player. He's a major winner. He's always one of the favourites, or if not the favourite, in every event he goes off in. But this is a different type of game. You're playing together, alternate shot. You're relying on your partner. You want to give them off the tee a shot from the short grass so they can attack the pins. I just think if you look at the European team, I just think they have the steadier hitters. Looking down at Justin Rose, I mean, that is the epitome of steadiness. Molinari, this guy, he's a very tidy player. He's not the biggest hitter in the world, but he hits it far enough, plenty far enough, as his Open victory this year is testament to. But he's very accurate. McIlroy, yeah, he hits it a long way. His accuracy sometimes, it's not perfect. It's not the best accuracy in the game, but just on balance, looking down the list, Rose, Molinari, McIlroy, Rahm, Fleetwood's a straight hitter, Noren, good ball striker, Casey, Stenson, Hatton, Garcia, Poulter, Ollison. And then we look down the American list, they've got those big hitters, Dustin Johnson, Koepka. Well, I'd probably take Koepka out of that classification, trying to suggest that USA haven't got the straightest hitters, because he's won 2 majors this year, and he's just been playing amazingly. Thomas as well has played well this year. DeChambeau, Fowler, yeah, he's a big hitter. He's reasonably accurate. Spieth is, I think, a pretty accurate driver, but he's not been playing the best. Bubba Watson is a very big hitter, but I don't think anyone would try and claim that he's one of the most accurate hitters. Reeder's had a poor year on tour. I was looking at statistics. In terms of driving accuracy, he hasn't been up there at all. Statistically, he's not been doing too well on driving accuracy. I've got Webb Simpson, Woods. Woods, although he's played really well recently, still sometimes struggle with the driver, so you have to be careful with that. It's fine when he's able to hit his 3-wood or hit irons, long irons off the tee, but he's not the most accurate. And Phil Mickelson, I think he's been spraying it as well. He's very low on the. He's very low. His driving's been awful this year if you look at the stats. So I think that's a point to consider in the Ryder Cup with formats with alternate shots. I think a team which can keep it in play off the tee better has an advantage, and I'm going to say Europe have an advantage in that regard. I'm sure there's a lot of people listening to this who disagree, but if you do, have it out in the comments and let me know what you think as far as that's concerned. But there's only 80,000 fans in Paris roaring on Europe, and I think that's a huge factor. USA won convincingly last time, Europe with a point to prove. I'm just going to take the value on this one, and I'm going to lean towards Europe. Just on value. The better team, on balance, probably is USA, but I don't think there's that much in it. I think Europe are very capable. They've got major winners in their team. They're very solid, and I think they're going to do very well on home soil. So I'm going to take that 6-4 as my recommendation. There's a lot of different markets as well to bet on in the Ryder Cup. There's top point scorer. You've got Dustin Johnson 10-1 as top point scorer from Koepka, 11-1. Rose 11-1. McIlroy 11-1. You've got Tiger Woods out at 18-1. Molinari is out at 22-1. I think that's a very good price coming in under the radar. I know there's a lot of blockbuster players in this event with big names, but he's won the Open this year. And I think he's a tremendous player to have in your team, Molinari, because he's dependable. And he's going to gel well with whoever he plays with. 22-1, I think that's a big number. And Woods is 18-1. The obvious pick, I think, for top point scorer is Koepka at 11-1. Because he's just had that amazing year. He's won 2 majors in a year. He's someone who plays well under pressure. He's got an ice-cool temperament under pressure. We watched him close out that PGA Championship recently, and, he didn't flicker, he didn't waver. He just stayed on course, he stayed focused, he stayed calm, and he just executed a tremendous victory in the end. So I think the obvious one is Koepka, but if I wanted a bit of value, I'd look at Molinari at 22-1. So that's my general overview. There's a lot of different factors you consider. Basically, you pick which factors you think are going to be most important, and then based on that, you make a selection. I think the majority of people have just gone for a general feeling over who's got the better players, and they've gone for USA. I'm going to go with Europe on this occasion, gelling together better. Home advantage, 80,000 fans roaring them on, knowing that they've got to win it outright, going after 14.5 points. And I think the value at 6-4 is Europe, and I'm going to go in that direction. Please comment, give your opinion, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.